Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Massey United Insurance is one of the Caribbean's leading insurance companies. Business Access TV is here to bring you the launch of the company's latest venture in Jamaica, and earlier we caught up with some of the stakeholders involved in this venture. Take a look.
We're very excited to be here in Jamaica. The Jamaican economy, as you know, is doing extremely well. The opportunities here seem to be very positive. The stock market has been doing fantastic. Many years ago, I spent quite a bit of time in Jamaica back in the old FinSac days. So I've seen the hard times here. I've been here when things were tough. I used to work at Barbados Mutual, which became Sagicor, and ended up owning Life of Jamaica and things of that nature. So we've seen the Jamaican economy at a different time. This time we're seeing it, I think, in a whole new light. And we see it as a real opportunity. Massey Group has quite a bit of businesses here. We have the Massey Gas Products, Massey Technologies are here, Massey Distribution. And we saw this as an opportunity to move our insurance division here. And we look forward to, Massey United is like the number 5 or in the top 5 insurers in the Caribbean. And if you really want to be number 1 in the Caribbean, you have to be in Jamaica. And we're here, and we intend to be here for a long time and to participate in the market in a very significant way. Well, competition is a fact of life in the business world. And we've been competing with many different insurers all over the Caribbean. We've been competing at the Massey Group level with all sorts of different companies. So we have, competition are not enemies. Competition are people in the same business as you. So we intend to help and to bring capacity to the market. We're not here to steal business. We're not here to undercut anybody. We're here to do our job and to be part of the market.
So I'm Randy Graham. I'm the CEO of Massey United. And let me start by saying we're very happy to be in lovely Jamaica. I mean, we've been trying to get into Jamaica for a long time, and we're happy to be here. Massey United operates in 19 territories now. Jamaica may be the last one that we go into for a while. And we have these operations set up across the Caribbean. My office is based, the head office is in Barbados, but we have offices, as I said, set up in many of the other territories in which we operate. So our team moves around to make sure that we give everybody, due coverage, and we're looking forward to spending some time in Jamaica. The company is actually about 130 years old. I mean, we are an old insurance company. As United, we are about 40 years old. Started a lot of our work in Barbados. So Barbados, we are a major market player in Barbados. We are part of the Massey Group, so we now become a major market player in Trinidad. So those are probably our 2 biggest territories. We are also a pretty big player in Curacao, and we are a big player in St. Lucia and Antigua. So, I mean, if I had top 5 or 6 countries, those would be our big countries. Since we started to branch out, we haven't really been trying to get more than 10% of the market share in any one territory. So the newer territories, we have smaller market shares in those territories by design. So again, in Jamaica, we're happy to be in Jamaica, but we're probably not going to be looking to be very aggressive to go past a big market share, because that's just our natural strategy now, to have smaller market shares in many territories across the region. We believe that Jamaica is a major and critical part of the Caribbean, and far apart from offering insurance, Massey United also does its part to develop communities in which we operate. We've seen Jamaica go through its ups, its downs. It's on a good path now. Development is occurring in the right way in Jamaica, and we want to come and be a part of that. So we're going to help the community. We're going to do what we can to help the country in any way that we can, and we are excited to get into Jamaica.
My name is Mark Somerville. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Massey United Insurance. I am based in Antigua. but I'm only really there on weekends. That's the beauty of our company. We're a pan-Caribbean company. We very much regard ourselves as a Caribbean company, not a Trinidadian or a Barbadian or a Jamaican company. We're a true Caribbean company. And it's so exciting to be launching in Jamaica tonight. I mean, Jamaica is a big market, an important market, obviously a very important economy in our region. And we could never truly regard ourselves as a regional company without having a material presence here. So it's very exciting for us, and we're absolutely thrilled. Well, I think the Jamaican economy, there's been a lot of changes in recent years, and that obviously the governments have taken some pretty tough medicine, but Jamaica's coming out the other side of all that. So obviously the stock market has been very strong for a period now. Maybe economic growth isn't as high as many would like, but clearly Jamaica's on a very positive path. We already have, as a regional company, some connections in Jamaica. I mean, Massey Group has been here for a long time with other companies, so we already feel at home here. It's a very comfortable move for us. We have many friends here already, so we're really excited, and we're here for the long term, and very much looking forward to it.
We're very excited about this new chapter in our life. We've been waiting for a little while, and it's happening now. And so we're so excited to say hello, Jamaica. We're there. Because we're in 19 territories, we've had experience in dealing with catastrophic claim in 18 other territories. So that's unique to us, as we've gotten the opportunity to deal with different segments of the Caribbean market, of course, in the claim process. And so we have the experience, the expertise, the knowledge to deal with claims anywhere in the world, I'd say. Hurricane Irma in 2017. So Massey United, then we were 18 territories. We were hitting 9 territories, right? So we paid out in excess of $262 million US in claim settlement. But what was phenomenal about it is the fact that we were able to settle 80% of those claims within 3 months. And that's why when I say we're expert at handling claims, that's what I'm talking about. And so if you ask me what we're bringing to Jamaica, that's what we're bringing, that uniqueness, that ability, because of our diverse experience, to handle claims in a speedy manner.
This little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but 4 walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
As Minister of Finance, I like competition. I want competition in every sector, because competition means that customers get the best prices, they get the best terms. And when customers get the best prices and the best terms in every industry, it means that resources are efficiently allocated. Every saving the consumer gets can be deployed to another area, and that helps the economy. You know, Massey was a big investor in Jamaica many years ago. Anybody who knows their corporate history, Massey is one of the largest companies in the Caribbean region. That they've chosen this time to step up their investment in Jamaica speaks to the fact that, Jamaica is moving in the right direction. All of our variables are aligned and they can see the opportunity. An insurance company has a disproportionate benefit from economic growth, because economic growth means that persons have more assets that they need to insure. People are buying homes, buying houses, and so forth. And they smell the opportunity. They're smart investors. There's a reason why they are one of the largest companies in the region. And I think them coming to Jamaica and launching operations at this time is an endorsement for Jamaica and for its economy and the economic direction.
Massey United Insurance brings the number of operating companies in Jamaica to 4 and joins Massey Gas Products, Massey Technologies, and Massey Distribution. We have waited long for this occasion. Our last addition to Massey was in 2006, when Massey, then called Neelan Massey, acquired the liquefied petroleum gas business of Shell, and Massey Gas Products Jamaica was created. Massey Gas Products Jamaica, known to many of you as GasPro, has over the last 12 years established itself as one of the best performing companies in the Massey Group. So a local company is one of, or maybe the very best performing company in the entire Massey Group. We are indeed proud. In 2018, our revenue was $1.9 billion. We operate in 12 countries and have over 12,000 team members. While size and scale are important, we are more proud of who we are. We are the Massey Group. We have been around for 9 decades, and each day, day in, day out, we live our values: honesty and integrity, collaboration, responsibility, growth and continuous improvement, and love and care. Simply put, we'll walk away from any business opportunity if we cannot win that opportunity legally and ethically. We are a force for good. And this is what the Massey United Insurance team will bring to the industry and to the country at large. We are just as passionate about our social responsibilities. So as we expand our business opportunities in Jamaica, we want to ensure that the communities in which we operate are enhanced because of the presence of Massey. So we have a number of educational support programs, our scholarship programs, and in last year, the Massey Jamaica team partnered with United Way of Jamaica to create a different environment for a number of basic schools as they began the current academic year. We also believe in the private-public partnerships. And as soon as Minister Tufton's schedule permits, we will launch or we'll participate in the Adopt a Clinic program, and we'll adopt the clinic in Seaview Gardens as the Massey Jamaica team to ensure that the residents of Seaview Gardens and its environs get quality health care in their communities without having to go outside.
Our company, by any measure you choose, is among the top 5 regional property and casualty companies in the Caribbean. And we know, to be number 1, we have to be in Jamaica. You can't be number 1 without being here. And that may be why we're here. For more than 40 years, we have been providing insurance coverage through a combination of branch operations and dedicated agencies across the region. Many organizations and individuals depend on us to protect their assets that they've worked very hard for. In a region plagued by disasters, particularly hurricanes, our diversification is a strength we pride ourselves on being able to provide and on which customers can rely. What you may not know about Massey United is that we have probably been the most tested general insurance company in the Caribbean. Over the years, we have responded to numerous natural catastrophes and are proud of our strong reputation for customer service and responsiveness to our customers when it really matters. Massey United Insurance has maintained strategic relationships over the years with some of the most reputable reinsurers in the world. Our comprehensive reinsurance program with A-rated reinsurers only is a key contributor to our exceptional claims payment history, which continues to distinguish us from our competitors and help us retain market share in key areas. Our strategy for Massey United Insurance in Jamaica, as across the region, is to profitably grow our insurance portfolio in line with our strong underwriting standards by offering superior insurance protection and customer service as a trusted partner across the regional distribution network while maintaining a strong AM Best rating and improving returns on investment. There has been some concern due to our size and reach that Massey United would seek to gain market share here in Jamaica with low premiums. That is not our strategy. As we begin to write business in this market, we will continue to offer premium rates in line with the quality security that we provide to our clients. This company also shares the group's commitment to be a force for good. We have not only focused on providing excellent general insurance coverage, but as responsible corporate citizens, we are also robust in our support of our communities. We will therefore remain committed to improving social cohesion within the territories in which we operate, including Jamaica.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
We have the longest stretch of quarterly economic growth since we started measuring growth on a quarterly basis, 15 consecutive quarters. We have inflation that has been low and stable for 4 years. We have debt at the lowest level in 2 decades. We have employment at the highest level ever in our history. Our credit rating is the highest in 10 years. Credit growth is at a 6-year high. Should I go on? The best time economically in Jamaica's history. And when an organization like the Neela Massey Group that has opportunity to invest anywhere they want, you heard him, they're in over 19 markets. They can go north, they can go south, they can go east, they can go west. And they choose to set up operation in the insurance business, which is a business that takes on risk. This is not a shop. This is a business, they're coming to Jamaica to take risk, insurance risk. It tells you that they, like us, smell opportunity. And it is my job to welcome them to Jamaica. Please give them a round of applause. Now, on the topic of insurance, financial services in general, the key component that we introduced to be effective April 1st is going to make financial services much more competitive in Jamaica, because the cost of switching is going to disappear. So if interest rate reductions are not passed through to the customer has the opportunity to change institutions, because the cost of doing so has been, what word should I use? Not reduced is too gentle a word. Has been demolished, has been eroded, because those costs were significantly costs imposed by the government. Now, this is important, and the entry of United Insurance to Jamaica is important in the same vein, that competition is good for Jamaica. We want a Jamaica where there is competition. We want competition in every sector. Massey United is in the business of insurance, and in general insurance, all kinds of liabilities, marine liability, cargo liability, aviation liability. I think I'm doing a sell job for them. And of course, insuring property against fire and flood and natural disaster. Again, they have chosen the best possible time to come, because they're coming at a time when the housing starts in Jamaica are at record levels. Just to use NHT statistics. Yes, please go ahead. That's not something to kid around with. NHT, which is a public sector provider of housing and housing solutions, is programmed to do 8,640 housing starts in the upcoming financial year. Not just to dimension it so you understand the significance of that. In the 4 years, 2012, 2013, 14, and 15 combined, it was 6,000 and change. So when you're talking about doing 8,000 in 1 year, that is the degree of acceleration that is underway. And similar things are happening in the private sector. So the opportunity for companies like Massey United is that with the housing stock being increased and the supply of housing being increased and the ability of persons to afford housing being increased by virtue of the fact that the transaction taxes that were once associated with owning a home, it is going to be massive opportunity for everybody connected with that industry. It's easy to underestimate the aspirations of the Jamaican people. And that's a mistake that as minister, I am not going to make. The Jamaican people, we have more people employed today than ever before. We have 1.2 million MASH, 1.25 million or thereabouts. Every single one of those employed persons want to buy their own home at some point. Whether they are a janitor, or they're a security guard, whether they're a painter or a carpenter, a mason or an ancillary worker, or a police officer, a nurse, or a teacher, they want to own their own home. For far too long, we have put artificial barriers in front of people in the form of high transaction taxes. And by reducing those, we bring that possibility home to the Jamaican people like never before, which creates opportunity for everyone, including those who are in the insurance business.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives.
And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
What's your thoughts on this new company coming into the Jamaican insurance market?
We welcome it. There are only 9 players as we have it now. So we welcome the new addition. We are happy to have the competition. The thing with Jamaica is that we have too many monopolies, I think. And I feel that the clients will be happy for an opportunity to have more of an option of where they can go. Whether it's through a broker or through it's direct with the company, it's always a good thing.
Massey, we've been hearing about it for a long time. We've been anticipating them coming to Jamaica, and we're very excited at Billy Craig to welcome them to the insurance group, and we're happy to have them as a partner. Since they've actually started, which they started early in January, Billy Craig has already started doing business with them, and our clients are excited to have them as well.
What are some of the new things they probably bring to the table that was not in the Jamaican market that you think is exciting for consumers?
Well, each company has their own way of doing business, and Massey brings their way of doing business as well. The people they have are incredible. Winsome has been a partner for us from before, and having her as a Massey team member, I think is a perfect choice.
How do you think consumers are reacting so far with this new company in the market?
Interested to ask a question. When they came to Jamaica, one of our largest customers in Montego Bay, they actually came and visited with them, did a site visit. The head of Massey came down here, Winsome was with him, and the client had a wonderful interaction. So I would say that they're primed to do business in Jamaica.
I do believe that it's a great move by Massey coming into Jamaica. What it does, it kind of creates competition for the market that we have and will allow us to actually get better rates.
How do you think consumers will feel about this new company coming into the market?
Well, I think consumers are going to always want new options and look at new options. I think options are always good for consumers. And I think, as the minister said as well, more options, more possibilities, and more improvement. The Jamaican market is quite competitive. It's a very sophisticated market, and I think we can only participate and improve the market.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think competition is always good. The client is the one who gets the benefit of the competition. But separate and apart from that, we work together as an industry and we try to solve industry problems. So it's always good to have another company enter in the market so that the consumer can win.
So you would have heard from a fulsome lineup here at the launch of Massey United Insurance's operations here in Jamaica. Thanks for watching BATV's coverage of this launch. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
Today, X marks the spot, and the treasure is to be found within the pages that unfold over the next 29 minutes. From Jamaica House to Clarendon and into 90 organizations across the island, we're seeing government at work, school environs made safe for traveling students, and young people getting a taste of tourism excellence. I am Theodore Henry. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Good day again, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, August 20. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security will be dispersing $569 million to children registered on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education, PATH, for the new school term. This is part of the Ministry's Back to School Grant program. It will provide 162,654 primary and secondary school students with $3,500 each.
We understand that if we want a better Jamaica, a better future for Jamaica, we must invest in our children. And that is why this is so important. We are making an investment in the children of Jamaica.
The minister was speaking on Friday at the handover of checks to some of the beneficiaries. 10 business process outsourcing BPO member companies are to benefit from a $480,000 project aimed at strengthening and enabling small operations to move up the value chain. The Jamaica Global Services Sector, GSS, Moving Firms Up the Value Chain project was launched recently and will last for 18 months. President of the Business Process Industry Association of Jamaica, Gloria Henry, says the criteria to identify beneficiary firms should be developed by October, with the project to start by year end.
We are going to prepare them for readiness to exploit opportunities within the digital economy, to participate in trade fairs and outsourcing events, and thus to secure business, higher value-added businesses, of course.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., has endorsed the project. He says it is a critical investment that will grow the BPO industry and create more high-level jobs for young people.
What we see arising from this is improvement in productivity, a change of attitude, a difference in the understanding of our young people especially, who are getting an opportunity to really participate and to learn at a level which has to meet an international standard.
The project is a joint venture between the Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility, CCPF, and the Business Process Industry Association of Jamaica. CCPF is a co-financing facility established by the IDB, United Kingdom Department for International Development, Government of Canada, and the Caribbean Development Bank. It is providing $400,000 for the undertaking, with the remaining $80,000 to come from the BPIAJ. Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, says private sector partnership in crime prevention and crime fighting measures is vital to their success. He urged private sector members to get involved while addressing the quarterly luncheon of the Jamaica All-Island Chambers of Commerce in Clarendon recently.
There are several ways that you can do this. You can support the work of the Community Safety and Security Branch of the police by participating more actively in community-based crime prevention activities, such as public education, sensitization program, and public order, because that creates a better atmosphere in the community.
Dr. Chang says the business community can play a much bigger role in crime prevention measures, especially when the enhanced security measures come to an end. Meanwhile, as part of a targeted drive to get citizens to become public safety ambassadors, the Ministry of National Security will be launching its Live Good initiative in September. Under the program, citizens will partner with the police in maintaining public order. Portfolio Minister Dr. Horace Chang says there will be a special focus on getting on board micro and small business enterprises, such as those involved in vending and the transportation sectors.
Nothing wrong in training students to walk to cross the street where you have pedestrian crossing. Nothing wrong in working with the parish council to find place for people to do vending, the small business. But they can't block the roadside and block where people should walk. We have to get the taxi men, and if necessary, we get the traffic laws and equip the police to, when they breach the traffic code, we're going to have to charge them. But if we educate them and engage them as business people to operate with discipline, we can reduce the public disorder.
Minister Chang was speaking at the Jamaica All-Island Chambers of Commerce's recent quarterly luncheon in Clarendon. Permanent markers have been installed along 42 of the estimated 250-kilometer boundary spanning the area to be protected as the cockpit country. Senior Surveyor at the Forestry Department, Denvin Codner, gave the update during Thursday's ground truthing and marker installation exercise at Freedom District near Craighead in Manchester.
We have done 83 of the 250 kilometers of boundary so far. Across 3 parishes, Trelawney, St. Ann, Manchester. We started the ground truthing exercise in Jacksontown, came all the way up to Ulster Spring, back to Norway, then down to Craighead.
Work will continue through St. Elizabeth and St. James in the coming months. In 2017, Prime Minister Andrew Holness adopted 74,726 hectares of land to be designated as the cockpit country. Work is now ongoing to determine whether or not the area is to be extended. Ground truthing and installation of permanent markers are being undertaken by the Forestry Department through a 4-year €16.5 million commitment from the European Union. That exercise began in 2018 and is expected to be completed by 2020. And finally, national hero Marcus Mosiah Garvey is being remembered as a fearless individual who challenged the world powers despite the possibility of receiving harsh punishment. The praise came on Saturday at a floral tribute at the National Heroes Park to mark the 132nd anniversary of Garvey's birth. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., says Marcus Garvey stridently continued his message of repatriation and unity among the black diaspora, heralding a day when the Negro race would be free to participate in the global economy as an equal player.
Perhaps his greatest tenet was his ability to see beyond the moment. He was a visionary in his thinking, and he was never afraid to defy the global systems that separated and categorized human beings of different backgrounds as less than equal inhabitants in the world space.
Minister Charles was representing the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching. We make our weekly stop at Jamaica House to see the latest movements and developments from the Prime Minister and his team. That's next.
Prime Minister pledges to rebuild Jamaica National Children's Home, issues warning to school administrators over fees, and holds meeting to discuss Port Royal development. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan.
The government will be responding very quickly to have the facilities rebuilt. But the truth is that it gives us an opportunity to take a second look at the facility. Maybe we need larger facilities, maybe we need facilities that are built differently. So it is now an opportunity to do that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he visited wards of the state who were displaced by a fire at the Jamaica National Children's Home in Pepin, St. Andrew. On August 9, fire destroyed the dormitory area of the building, causing over $150 million worth of damage. No one was hurt in the blaze. Last week, the Prime Minister called on school administrators to stop the practice of charging obligatory fees, which deny students access to schools. He said there was a growing culture within primary schools to charge high fees which parents could not afford.
They're not calling them tuition fees, but whether it is ancillary or auxiliary or registration, whatever fee it is, I'm putting the primary schools on notice.
The Prime Minister also urged administrators at secondary schools to not allow fees to become a deterrent to students' education.
I'm not saying that the parents must not contribute, but sometimes we miss the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is to make sure that no child, regardless of the income status of their household, is in any way deprived of education.
The Prime Minister was speaking Wednesday at a primary exit profile PEP Awards function at Jamaica House. 15 children of staff members of the Office of the Prime Minister and the Office of the Cabinet who were successful at PEP were rewarded with vouchers for back to school. Fast-tracking the development of Port Royal was a topic of discussion Wednesday as the Prime Minister met with agency heads involved with the project. Mr. Holness was briefed on progress being made by the Urban Development Corporation and the Port Authority of Jamaica. He was joined by Ministers Edmund Bartlett and Pernell Charles Jr., Mayor of Kingston Delroy Williams, as well as representatives from the Jamaica National Heritage Trust and the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Pernell Charles Jr., was also on the road this past week. On Wednesday, he endorsed a $480,000 US project aimed at strengthening the local outsourcing industry by enabling small operations to move up the value chain. Minister Charles used the opportunity to reiterate government's commitment to the sector.
We see this sector as more than just additional employment. What we see arising from this is improvement in productivity, a change of attitude, a difference in the understanding of our young people especially, who are getting an opportunity to really participate and to learn at a level which has to meet an international standard.
The Jamaica Global Services Sector Moving Firms Up the Value Chain project is supported by Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility CCPE and the Business Process Industry Association of Jamaica BPIAJ. The BPIAJ will be providing $80,000 US, while the rest will be offset by the CCPE, which comprises the Inter-American Development Bank, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the Caribbean Development Bank. And while at a recent groundbreaking ceremony, Minister Charles urged young professionals to tap into the housing market.
I know how it feels to have significant challenges when you look on the possibility of not being able to handle the transfer tax, having money to put down the deposit, but you can't handle the closing. This government has not only spoken about development, but has created the environment where we are making it possible for young professionals and investors to really acquire safe, affordable, legal housing in our country.
Minister Charles was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the $8 billion Rhine Park housing development in St. James, which offers 754 units. The project will be done in 6 phases, offering 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, single-family homes, as well as 2- and 3-bedroom townhouses. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
646 high school and tertiary students were given the opportunity to intern in tourism and non-tourism fields this summer. The annual program is engineered by the Tourism Enhancement Fund to prepare young people for taking on the jobs that will directly or indirectly service one of Jamaica's major economic drivers. The successful interns were celebrated and awarded at a recent function. Let's see what unfolded, and who knows what may be in store for you next year.
This year we celebrate 12 years of internship, and it remains a testimony of what leadership, vision, and commitment can achieve. Our vision is pretty simple. It is to empower young people, to nurture them into tomorrow's leaders, to inspire them, and to enhance Jamaica's workforce. We placed 646 interns in jobs this year through 90 organizations island-wide. 283 of those interns were from tertiary level students, and 363 was from the secondary level. Our partners comprise government agencies, financial institutions, medical institutions, schools and churches, and other institutions, including our tourism partners.
We deliberately didn't place you at hotels, many of you, so you understand how broad, how extensive, how inclusive tourism is, how deep and wide the value chain of tourism is, and how when you train in all these other disciplines, you are really preparing yourself to give service. And so the focus of the internship program is about customer service and service excellence.
This year was a new year for us because we imparted a new part of our program, and as such we had 13 orientations island-wide where we sought to train our interns in detailed customer service and also etiquette on the job.
So you can move with that anywhere in the world you go.
It really helped. This year I noticed I didn't have much to do in terms of grooming and so on and so forth, because they came, and I think it's because of the 2 days workshop, they were ready. I am proud to say also that from the internship program, we have employed 2 persons, one in the administrative area and one in the clinical area.
And what has happened is that you have been made to have a very practical and hands-on appreciation of the moving parts, the many moving parts that must come together seamlessly to create the tourism experience that we sell to the world. And so therefore, when we do these summer internship programs, is to expose you to these areas that are not in the hotel where traditionally you see tourism.
At the end of the program, our interns were evaluated. And as a result of the evaluation, we have our lovely award ceremony today.
We've given you the appetizer in the TEF internship program. Now is your moment to indulge. taste this rich and sumptuous and delectable offering called tourism.
Don't let the heat beat you down. Extremely hot days can affect your health, causing heat stress and heat stroke. Protect yourself. Seek sheltering from the sun and limit outdoor activities to mornings and evenings. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting, breathable fabrics. Hydrate with cool water and avoid sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. Don't let the heat beat you down.
With school right around the corner, road safety is on our minds. Here are some staggering numbers for you. 249, that's the number of fatal road crashes. 274, that's the number of people dead from those crashes. 26 in the age group of 0 to 19 years old. Those are the official figures so far this year. Let's not add any more to those numbers. Obey the road rules, look out for pedestrians, and pay special attention to the children navigating our traffic environment. In the meantime, check out a program that began last year to minimize the hazards near schools.
Countless children continue to suffer from injuries that are directly related to traffic crashes within 100 meters of school zones over the past decade.
But steps are being taken right here in Jamaica to change that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. At the Azar Primary School we go. And using the pedestrian crossing is what we know. It's no show. Walking in a row is a good flow. But using the cell phone on the road is a big no-no. Using the sidewalk is a great start. It will prevent shattered body parts.
Hazard Primary School is the first of 18 schools selected under the X Marks the Spot School Crosswalk campaign. And this is a collaboration with UNICEF Jamaica and FIA Foundation. And we selected Hazard Primary through our Child Road Safety Assessment research and report, which was recently published. And we've identified the vulnerabilities where children who are journeying to and from school face several challenges getting to school.
To reduce the vulnerabilities and the challenges faced by the over 600 students at this Clarendon-based school, a number of infrastructural upgrades were carried out.
The Hazard Primary School was selected for this infrastructural upgrade, which includes a pedestrian crossing, bus lay-by, and the sidewalks to ensure the safety of the children attending this school.
As it is now, they're already practicing, learning to use the walkways and the crossing, and the wardens are there to sort of help them cross the street. And I mean, overall, it's going to ensure that the children are a little bit safer.
When the cars are bringing the students to school, they normally come over on the sidewalk where we are supposed to walk. So now we have the sidewalk where we can walk on, that they cannot come over on the sidewalk and kind of hurt us or anything.
And that's not all. The school will get a facelift with beautiful artistic designs done by student volunteers from the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts.
We approached Edna Manley because we wanted to bring a little excitement to the project, so we thought art is a good way to spread messages. It translates well on social media because it gives us good visuals. We didn't want to take stock images, we wanted young people's ideas, and so we approached the school and they said sure they would be interested, and so they came up with these designs. These are their designs and the designs that will go on the sidewalk leading to the crosswalk. So they were interested, they came up with their designs and they're here painting away, and they will be working with us on all of the schools as we go forward.
We will be carrying out this work in 15 other schools on a phase 2 of X Marks the Spot.
The projects cost approximately $1 million and was made possible by a number of sponsors.
I just want to say thanks to JN Foundation and UNICEF for their effort and the support, and seeing the importance of having this crossing section at the school gate that I know will benefit the students tremendously.
When parents are assured that their children will get to school safely, that we'll be more contented, and the children themselves will be happier knowing that they'll be safe.
Speeding through life and the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey man, it's our job to keep the road them safe. Have to take care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code, don't race. No bother with the speeding case, make face. And check your light them at your tires and brakes. Riders and the pillions who left the helmet. Aye, put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt for keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road.
Hey, follow me. Well, everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you cross good. Remember the dark close at night, that is not good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road. When you're on the road, when you're on the road.
This is the end of this particular journey, but Jamaica Magazine is a story with no ending. So prepare to pick up the tale tomorrow with more interesting chapters. If you're like me and like to re-engage with what has come before, past publications are on our website and YouTube channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts on our offerings or the topics you'd like us to cover, so take note of the email and social media info that's on screen right now. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for your company, and do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
Stewart's Automotive Group has become synonymous with the auto industry in Jamaica and is breaking ground for the construction of its new home of the Jaguar Land Rover brand. And Business Access TV is here at South Avenue for the coverage. I'm Jamila Maitland. Stay with us.
Thank you for being here. Good morning and Happy New Year. What an awesome event for us. I cannot believe that we're here today breaking ground, a project that we had hoped to have done in 2008. It's taken us an additional 10 years due to many ups and downs, and we've done it. We could not have done it without all of you here. You have held our hand on this journey, and for that, we love you and we thank you. The Stewart's Automotive Group is proud to be kicking off 2019 in a big way with the official groundbreaking of what will be the new Jaguar Land Rover showroom and service center. This is a historic day for us, and we're very excited about what it means for Jaguar Land Rover customers, the Stewart's Automotive Group, and ultimately Jamaica as a whole. So what does it mean? The new home of Jaguar Land Rover represents investment in the brand, the best to showcase its combination of versatility and luxury, an increased opportunity for employment, and the continued growth of our group and country, beautiful Jamaica. Jaguar Land Rover, the art of performance. I'm delighted to welcome you here this morning, and on behalf of the entire Stewart's Automotive Group, I'd like to thank you for joining us as we put shovel and dirt to mark this special occasion as we go above and beyond. So we're going to have some remarks from my brother Duncan Stewart.
The symbolic groundbreaking for a project that's very important to us. As you can see, we've already started, so this is a symbolic gesture today. Some history. Stewart's Automotive Group celebrates its 81st anniversary this year, and we are proud to continue the legacy that my grandfather, my father, and my mother have continued. This legacy has been built on hard work, determination, and investing when other people wouldn't. It has been built on service. Service to our customers, service to our staff, service to our country. And we are proud that this legacy continues in our young fourth generation who are here today with us. Our family took over Jaguar Land Rover brand 3 years ago, and since then we've operated in a temporary facility at South Camp Road. In that time, we've grown from strength to strength by raising the benchmark for service and quality, whilst introducing fantastic new models that have raised the standards of luxury motoring in Jamaica. We are proud to say that many of you here today have experienced the brand promises of our premium products. Above and beyond for Land Rover, the art of performance for Jaguar, and I thank you for that. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to say that luxury has indeed found a new home right here. Here at Arthur Wint Drive, where both Jaguar and Land Rover will be housed. We are proud to say that we are bullish on Jamaica and bullish on the Jaguar Land Rover brands, putting our money where our mouth is. Our $13 million investment in this project will allow our group to offer our Jaguar Land Rover customers a world-class retail experience. And it will allow us to expand our horizons into real estate development with the additional space that we will have here for rent. The building will have 5 stories, covering approximately 5,000 square meters, 50,000 square feet for the rest of us, with JLR occupying the first 2 floors of the property, and we'll have rental property occupying the upper floors. We are working around the clock to have our showroom open and ready for the end of March. and to finish the project by September. And to give you some food for thought, what you see already built here started in October, so we are accelerating. Our Jaguar Land Rover facility will be very exciting, the first of its kind in the Caribbean, and of that we are proud. Built to Stuart's and Jaguar Land Rover's exacting standards, we've left no stone unturned to deliver on our family's promise of unparalleled service to our customers. With this facility, we will have the space to grow and to service our growing Jaguar Land Rover vehicle population in Jamaica. The layout, combined with investments in tooling and training, will allow us to raise our productivity. And of course, this standalone facility will give our customers exclusivity and dedicated attention that they don't have right now. Of course, any new construction, especially of this magnitude and investment, comes with benefits. For one, direct employment will be created for the persons in and around the community who will be part of the construction team. We will also house a business process outsourcing facility that will create employment opportunities for Jamaicans in this area and beyond. Secondly, our luxury brands Jaguar and Land Rover will now be housed here. The ambience and appeal of this location will no doubt be raised. We will set the standard in this area. Thirdly, we see this project as one that will heighten the sense of pride for persons operating and living in this area. And these are just a few of the many benefits that we will bring. I'm thankful to the government and other relevant stakeholders having played a very supportive role in this project to date. Prime Minister Holness, your presence today is a true demonstration of your support and that of your administration. On behalf of the entire Stuart's Automotive Group family, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us. I'd also like this opportunity to thank our staff, our over 500 dedicated professionals whose hard work has made Stuart's Automotive the powerhouse that we are. We couldn't have done this without you. Finally, I would be remiss not to thank all of our valued customers across the entire group for all the brands that we represent. Thank you for continuing to trust us with your driving experience. Thanks to everyone.
I do want to commend the Stuart family for this investment here, and particularly because you're not just moving the showroom for Jaguar and Land Rover, but you're making an investment in space for the BPO industry, a sector that I believe in strongly, one that has demonstrated tremendous growth and one that will continue to grow. And I think the location, it's hard to find a more ideal location than this. You're on pretty much a main thoroughfare, you're close to major centers, and it will be, in my view, quickly snapped up by those investors who are looking for space. But you've made a commitment and you put your money where your mouth is. And this property, I think, is going to continue to change the landscape of this area. There is another building further up, Arthur Wint, which Daryl was at, where we broke ground. Wicon is building the lofts. There are other developments taking place which will transform the area. Persons are being employed on the construction. Persons will be here permanently. And I think it's a real testament to the commitment of the family. I know, going back to your grandfather, the second generation, you are the third, and I know the fourth is here. And I want to commend the family for this commitment, and in particular the matriarch, Diana, who continues to play her role in the family business. The country has seen a lot of growth, and I could probably name in this area alone 5 or 6 major projects taking place. And by major projects, if you're looking for a crane, you look for a crane when you're talking about a major project. And there are a number of them taking place. And that is a positive thing. It genuinely provides employment opportunities, and it's a good thing. So I'm happy as a member of Parliament to be a part of this and to support all the work that you're doing. And
I want to commend the family again and pledge my support as you see through the construction.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands.
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
I am pleased to be here because it is a sign of the confidence that the private sector is having in the economy. Let me say clearly for everyone that this is not a simple matter for someone or a group of people to take up their savings or other people's savings, to put themselves in debt, to take a risk because there is no certainty or surety or guarantee in business. It is a risk. Obviously, entrepreneurs, enterprising people are not reckless people. They would have sat and they would have calculated the risk. They would have done their assessment. Now, Julian pointed out euphemistically that much progress started under his administration and we are building on it. And that's a good thing. That is not something that should be denied. That indeed is the definition of progress and prosperity. When you build on what was there and do better than what was there. But in this regard, I take note of Jackie's statement that this project was actually conceived in 2008. So you see, it is passing through administrations. But in the sense as well, there is a certain sadness because it has taken so long. And that, my friends, is the challenge with doing business in Jamaica. It takes far too long. We have to do things, obviously, to make it easier to do business. And Minister Vaz has charge of that with ensuring that all the various elements that go into the ease of doing business, that those elements are improved. And we are strategically focused on that. But doing business is also a function of the general macroeconomic environment. So the ease of doing business are usually microeconomic considerations. But the macroeconomy is also very important. things such as interest rates, things such as certainty with taxes. What will the government do with its tax policy? And how will that affect your income streams when you make the investment? It is quite clear that from the fiscal standpoint, from the macro standpoint, government has acted in such a way as to give greater certainty to the economic environment, to allow businesses to take future decisions, and not just short-term future, but long-term future decisions, and to bring forward or actualize their investment decisions. This would be a perfect example of that. So I believe Jamaicans can feel satisfied in their government that the continued sacrifice for fiscal discipline has resulted in an economic environment in which businesses can take decisions and risks about investments. But we still need to make even greater progress on the micro issues. For example, how long does it take a business to get electricity? How long does it take you to get titling? How long does it take you to get approvals to do all of this? And the mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, my good friend, is here, and he knows the government's grave concern about how quickly we get the simple things done to make big investments happen. On another note, I observed keenly the last outturn on growth, 1.8%. Like most Jamaicans, I am not impressed. We want more growth, but we look at the glass for where it is. The truth is that we have been growing consistently. Not the level of growth that we want. I certainly don't consider it takeoff growth. When we get over 2%, then we will be in that range to start to take off. But as Julian knows, the investment decisions that you take today as business people do not have an immediate effect on growth. There is a lag. And that lag period in Jamaica, what we call the transmission of the growth, takes some time. Again, because of systemic weaknesses in our system, the lag between making the actual investment and that investment turning out and showing up in the growth figures takes some time. So you will see growth going into the future. But people always say to me, we see all these investments going on, as Julian was saying, that the national bird now is going to become the crane. Because we see so many cranes around Jamaica, particularly here in Kingston, new buildings being constructed. So it is a puzzle to many as to why is it that the growth numbers are not larger. There are many explanations, and I seek to prefer one to be considered. For many years, there has been a disinvestment in capital. In other words, capital formation in Jamaica over the past few decades has been negative. So in the national accounting systems, the disinvestment and the negative capital formation would mean that your ability to grow and grow rapidly would be limited. What you're seeing happening now is a return to investment in capital goods. A building, especially a plant, is considered to be a capital investment. And you can measure that in many ways. One, you can see movement in the stock market. You can see movement in the private equity and debt market. Because usually those kinds of movement and liveliness in that market would signal that people are borrowing to make capital investments. And we're seeing that now happening in Jamaica. So the preconditions for significant growth is being set. But you're not going to see it happen just yet right now. Again, the transmission, the lag is there. And I've been to many groundbreakings of similar nature. And immediate effect on the economy is that it creates jobs. And I'm very happy for that, because it is one thing to have growth, but growth without jobs is immiseration. So we are happy that the growth that we are seeing, even though it is not at the level at which we want it to be, it is creating significant employment. In fact, I'm proud to say there are more Jamaicans employed today than ever in the history of the employment statistics. That is the case. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, that Jamaica can and will achieve full employment. We need to continue this pace of capital formation. We need to continue this pace of investment, and we will achieve full employment, which in itself will create a larger demand, which in itself will drive consumption, which in itself will drive economic growth.
So Jaguar Land Rover has been sharing space with Suzuki down at our South Camp Road office, and frankly there's not enough space for both brands. So we've always been planning to build here, and so it's about saying when are the conditions right for us to make the right investment. And so we see that the track that Jamaica is going on, the track that Jaguar Land Rover as a brand is going on, means that's the right time to invest.
It has been 10 years in the making. What does this mean for the persons living around here and just development overall of this space?
Well, there are not many properties in Kingston this size that can be developed with what we want to do. So we're fortunate. We've owned this property for quite a long time. The construction here is bringing jobs to the neighborhood, so we are employing people here. All of the people who are working in a project are Jamaicans. So we have Jamaican construction, Jamaica architect, Jamaica engineers, and so on. And then, of course, the project, when it comes to fruition, is going to provide jobs, because we'll have a BPO here. And, this property is well located centrally. We have a tertiary education institution next door. We have a hospital next door. And we have neighborhoods next door that, can provide workers with jobs in this industry. And of course, for Jaguar Land Rover, we're getting our business all in one place, exclusive property just for Jaguar Land Rover customers. We're going to have productivity driven through our business because we are designing it from scratch.
You are celebrating your 81st anniversary. How long has this been in the making, and what do we expect from the Stewart's Automotive going forward?
So, we took over the Jaguar Land Rover brand 3 years ago. So it's been in the making for 3 years to put Jaguar Land Rover. Before, we were going to put another brand here, but the circumstances of the Lehman crash made the economy and the motor vehicle business very tenuous. Now we have growth again. 2016 was the first year that the car business sold the same number of cars as 2007. So we've had a long time coming back to where we are now, and we see growth on the horizon, and we're very bullish about the future.
What would you say to investors who probably are a little bit skeptic about, putting money where their mouth is, as you said? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, the real issue is about whether you're confident about Jamaica, about Jamaicans, and about the future. And we are, and we invite other people to take the same view. If you look around, you do see people making investments. So it's not that we are alone, right? The thing is that it's time for Jamaicans to change their own future. We have to build it together, and we have to do it together.
That's it from us here at the groundbreaking ceremony for the showrooms of Jaguar and Land Rover. I'm Jamila Maitland for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 100, 50 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process? Because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs to fund for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2-3 years, the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start the production line going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected. And then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that are coming with those proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
The Caribbean Academy of Sciences Jamaica, CASJ, hosted their 21st General Meeting and Conference at the University of the West Indies, Mona. Business Access TV has all the highlights, so stay tuned.
As the university goes through its 70th years, 70 years of service, 70 years of excellence, we're at the vanguard of educational excellence. And we extend heartfelt congratulations to our partners at CAS and CASJ as they commemorate their anniversaries and move forward. The theme selected by CAS this year is very befitting: science, technology, and innovation, vehicles for a knowledge-based economy. This collaboration amongst CAS, CASJ, and the UWI yields an investment in science, technology, and innovation fostered by a robust research development portfolio. It is essential as a precursor to the knowledge-based economy. Science and technology, as well as innovation, has now formed a part of the university's strategic plan. As you may know, our strategic plan is based on access, alignment, and agility. Within access, AC4, which is to increase the quality, quantity, and impact of research, innovation, and publication, feeds directly into this goal. We therefore are trying to, within the University of the West Indies, increase all that we do, not just in quality and quantity, but impact, since that which creates impact may not yet be published, but be impactful in a decision-making process for a country. This conference will facilitate a forum for the cross-pollination among different research fields. We will elucidate and discuss innovative theories, frameworks, methodologies, tools, and applications which may be of use in enhancing the quality of human life and contribute effectively to sustainable economic development. It is our hope that you will take this knowledge into your public and private setting, into your institutions, your agencies, your ministries, so that the dialogue may continue. And with the University of the West Indies being at the lead, we would like to offer ourselves to be that research engine for entities who would like research and development done. The substance of the policies which will come from our research continue to emulate, and I invite you to our next research days, which will be in February, where you can see the research from this faculty, science and technology, on display as it relates to policies. Last year we did medical sciences. This year we're doing science and technology. To all our colleagues at CAS and CASJ, I say welcome, especially those who are visiting for the first time, and look forward to a partnership which we think is essential and critical to the nexus in our regional economic venture and development. I welcome you all and look forward to a productive 4 days.
As a reaffirmation of the essential right of universal access to science in the framework of the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Established by UNESCO in 2001, the World Science Day for Peace and Development highlights the importance role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public on emerging issues relevant to science. As the Director General of UNESCO, Madame Audrey Azoulay, indicated, the astonishing progress made by science in recent decades has changed our lives. Science and its countless applications now condition all aspects of human life. The resulting innovations are an opportunity for the development of our sciences. They are improving our well-being, facilitating daily life, and pushing back borders that seemed immutable in the fields of medicine, transportation, communication, and knowledge sharing. They are an engine of growth and wealth. UNESCO recognizes that sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, provide key answers to build peace and bolster sustainable development, and therefore we need more integrated science to strengthen water management, to ensure the sustainable use of the ocean, to protect ecosystems and biodiversity, to tackle climate change and disasters, and to foster innovation. This is why Sciences, Technology and Innovation, STI, stands at the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Paris Agreement on Climate Change. In this spirit, UNESCO has developed a unique approach to promote global scientific cooperation between and within societies, combining global sustainability and local actions and knowledge with focus on gender equality. In this respect, UNESCO is pleased to support the forum designed by the Caribbean Academy of Science Jamaica chapter on cracking the code to gender disparities in creating knowledge-based economy, increasing female participation in STEM, in which the reality of gender parity in STEM with special reference to the Caribbean will be examined. On the other hand, today, as the complexity of the world's issues goes beyond the framework of a single discipline, UNESCO has made transdisciplinarity the cornerstone of its work for sustainability, building networks with multiple stakeholders, and promoting South-South and North-South-South cooperation to foster sciences, technology, and innovation, STI, for sustainable development and to encourage mutual understanding and peace.
Our objective is to promote science and also instill science culture in the society, and because science culture presently in societies is very, very low, and the government has to understand that without science and technology and innovations, the economy cannot grow. Technology we are developing quite rapidly in terms of the information technology and all this, but what is needed is the transfer of the technological aspects, high technological aspects into the society, and that has to be brought by the young scientists who are engaged in those kind of scientific endeavor. And also we need government to support this kind of activities.
At the opening ceremony, one of the points that really stood out for me was the fact that the different disciplines seem to, there's a little disparity. So humanities, we need our space, and scientists need their space. And besides my personal research, I'm also a facilitator at the Shell STEM program in Trinidad. And one of the things I do in my presentations is that I like to introduce the fact to students that STEM you can do, the world is open to you in terms of opportunities. So for instance, if you like art, you can become a biological illustrator. If you love journalism, you can be a science journalist. The world is just open, and I really wish that this conference, a lot of people will see that. It's not scientists by themselves. It's everybody. We can all benefit in some way from science. It's nothing to be scared of.
It's Island Hour, it's Island Hour, it's Island Hour. Bullseye for Eyes Summer Sale. Try your luck at the Bullseye and get up to 40% off your frames. Land on the Bullseye and your eyeglasses are completely free. This summer, July 15th to August 31st, everyone is a winner at Island Eyewear. Conditions apply. Call 630-1180 or visit islandeyewear.com. Island Eyewear. Your price, your style.
It has become a bit of a cliche to state that science and technology are key drivers of economic growth in the 21st century. Many researchers have pointed to the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century and the scientific revolution of the 20th century as setting the conditions that have given rise to today's global knowledge-based creative economy. Nowhere is the impact of science and technology on our lives more obvious than in the rapid innovations in communications and computing technologies, leading to more countries being able to participate more fully in the global economy. Today, new technologies are transforming and expanding many economies in the same way that earlier industrial and technological advances changed the course of history. Indeed, a growing percentage of wealth in the world's largest economies is created by knowledge-based industries that rely heavily on human capital and technological innovation. We are, of course, challenged by the question, what exactly is this knowledge-based economy? The World Bank and the OECD have defined it as an economy where knowledge is created, acquired, transmitted, and used effectively and creatively by organizations, enterprises, individuals, and communities to develop groundbreaking ideas and models. One example, often cited, of an economy that was rapidly transformed by an embrace of science and technology is that of South Korea. Its rapid progress in the knowledge and information revolution was attributed, to a large extent, to its widespread internet usage. The government recognized very early the need for the country to get connected to the web, and in the late 1990s invested heavily in broadband infrastructure. Privatization and deregulation in the telecom sector also led to South Korea being amongst the most wired nations in the world, with over 80% of households hooked up to broadband. Well, what of us here in the Caribbean? If we are to see any significant movement in our economic development as knowledge-based economies, a number of things will have to be addressed, including economic and institutional infrastructure, information infrastructure, and education. The government of Jamaica has recognized this and has committed to investing more in STEM education. In fact, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM programs in schools remain one of high priority for the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. Just by way of background, the STEM initiative was started in a formal and concerted way within the ministry in May 2014 and has continued under the current administration. The ministry established a STEM steering committee to provide oversight to the work of the STEM team, as well as the STEM technical committee that is driving the research and training component of the initiative. Under the new administration, the following have been done. Steering committee meeting would have been held in September 2016. New members invited to join the STEM committee. Just over $200 million have been budgeted to fund STEM and some non-STEM schools for the procurement of STEM-related equipment and material. The following tasks have been undertaken and are either complete or near completion. The first being a STEM concept paper has been completed and ratified by the STEM steering committee. And that, of course, sets out the thrust, the undergirding thrust of what it is that the ministry is embarked on. Secondly, work on a list of criteria for certification of STEM institutions for the academic year started in 2016 and is now about 90% complete. Thirdly, the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School, and in terms of the geography and locale, that's down in St. Elizabeth, northeast St. Elizabeth to be precise. So the Sydney Pagan Agricultural School has been transformed into a STEM academy. This was initiated in September 2014 with some 100 students at grade 7 and approximately $20 million having been spent on infrastructure to include upgrading of classrooms and laboratories. Equipment and material for the science program are being provided to enhance the project-based learning in accordance with STEM methodology. Recruitment of additional staff has been done, and extensive training of the academic and other staff members done to build their capacity. So upskilling would be an important part of this entire initiative.
I am working in the area of materials chemistry, and a considerable amount of my research is about developing new materials for renewable energy technologies. I also do, again, an extensive amount of work in catalytic chemistry, that's developing new catalysts for key industrial processes. I think the area of renewable energy technologies is of key importance for the whole world, but of course for the Caribbean nations. I think, for instance, there is clearly great scope in the Caribbean for greater deployment of solar energy technologies, but maybe other energy technologies as well. We need to move away from the current dependence on fossil fuels. We need, for instance, or perhaps in particular, to attract high-quality students into the STEM field if we're going to have vigorous research community. That is a challenge. It's a challenge for the scientific community to present the work they're doing in an accessible way, particularly to young people, so that it seems an attractive area or an attractive career. It's a challenge for government as well to ensure that the facilities for high-quality STEM education are receive high priority.
Your presentation was entitled Rethinking STEM, Higher Education in the 21st Century. Highlight the main points of your presentation.
The main points that I made are, first of all, that today's students are facing a very different world than the ones that I grew up in. Today's STEM fields are really critical for the jobs of the future. So we need more students who are competent in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and who can apply their understanding of those fields to practical problems, producing new solutions to problems that humanity faces. What I stressed in my presentation is that the way we teach students is pivotal for increasing and sustaining their interest in STEM. That's important for future STEM professionals, but it's also important for the citizenry in general to understand what science and technology and engineering and mathematics are and why they're important for society. So we need to deal with education from general level all the way to the highly professional level. And I also stressed very much in my presentation that the way we teach, the way we deal with our learners in university is very important. The old way was lecturing, that is talking at the students, and evidence now shows that that's not a good way to learn. What I stress is the importance of what we call active learning. This is where students engage with each other, they discuss in real time in class the issues that are being presented to them, they learn to apply their knowledge on the spot, they learn to work in groups because that's critically important for the future. Employers want teamwork. They don't want solo workers. They want nimble, innovative thinkers, and that the way to get them is to have them talk to each other and energize each other and discover how the knowledge that they're learning can be used. Scientific research and the companion of that, which is engineering, to apply knowledge for technological advancement, this is crucially important for the economies of nations going forward into what we call the fourth industrial revolution, where data science and cyber science and electronic digital communications, all of these things that didn't exist in the 20th century are now pivotal going forward. And any country that sustains interest in those fields and equips students with the tools to be innovators, to be producers of new knowledge, that's going to fuel the economy of that country. So there's no going back. We're not going back away from this highly technological future. So we want to prepare kids to be ready for it.
We're an investment management company. We're a licensed securities dealer, and we trade and invest mainly in US dollar denominated securities that trade on the global market, and mainly fixed income securities, bonds, and so on. Those are the main products that we offer for our clients. And our clients are mainly people looking for medium to long-term investments that will retain their value and give them a good return. It's really great to bring scientists together here in Jamaica from all across the Caribbean and to spend 3 or 4 days exchanging ideas, papers, etc. We're very happy. We have a very good relationship with the university. We are the investment house of choice for the discerning investors, the people who are looking for medium to long-term returns, people investing for their pensions, any sort of medium to long-term investment. We think we offer very good products and services in that regard.
Do you want more experience from your SUV? Introducing the 2020 Nissan X-Trail with leading-edge technology, intelligent ride and chassis control, a round view monitor, and hill start assist for confidence behind the wheel, plus auto headlights and panoramic sunroof. Drive the SUV with more experience. The Nissan X-Trail, available today at Fidelity Motors.
So we're here with Kiara Cosmetics, a wellness and beauty company that specializes in all natural products that are designed to enhance your beauty naturally. And we utilize Jamaican materials, indigenous Jamaican plant extracts and essential oils to bring out that key properties that will give you what you need to help take care of your skin, hair and nails. So Kiara Cosmetics, we formulate unique products, and our products are really geared towards our population, because what you find on our markets is flooded with imported products that we're developing European markets or with persons with different physiological profile than we have. So Kiara Cosmetics products are specially designed, expertly formulated, taking all these things in mind. So when you utilize your products, you actually get the benefits that you wanted and what the products were intended. Have to study and be trained in. When you know your ingredients, know how they function, and not just how they function as individual ingredients, but in combination with each other, is very essential, and that's what science does when you're talking about cosmetic chemistry. So the response has been good, especially from the audience as well. A lot of persons coming in and having that confidence, knowing that the products were developed by a chemist. It actually helps, and knowing that I'm UE bred, that also goes a long way. So it has been phenomenal. So our products are available right across Jamaica. They're also available in the US. We ship to the US. We actually keep inventory in New York. So you can order online at www.kiaracosmetics.com. You can follow us on Instagram as well as on Facebook, where you can keep up to date with what is happening. We also have a blog on our website that is teaching persons general knowledge about taking care of their hair, skin and nails, because what we really believe in is not just beauty, but your natural beauty and enhancing that natural beauty. We all have issues. We all have something or another that we are not so confident about, and that's what Kiara Cosmetics is about. How do you build that confidence without putting on too much, without changing who you are? So what we're doing is enhancing your natural beauty.
Well, Conrad Douglas and Associates and its subsidiary Estec are the pioneering companies in the Caribbean, Jamaica, for environmental management and project development and feasibility analysis. Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited was established 33 years ago, so we're heading into our 34th year. Estec, which is a subsidiary, was established 23 years ago, so that's 24 years in the industry. We have done significant work in Jamaica in all industries, tourism, bauxite, and we have also worked internationally in a number of industries within the Caribbean also, so our experience is very international. Presently, we're very active also now in the environmental management and project development phase, and we are integrally now into the energy sector transformation with natural gas, where we are doing the environmental management for New Fortress Energy, who is bringing natural gas to a number of entities within the Jamaican economy. So this speaks very well for the industry, because it now opens up these companies to the need for significant and proper environmental management and planning to ensure that we in Jamaica are protecting our natural resources while we advance the economy. And it can be done, and that is what we have been doing for the last 34 years. We have been developing projects, implementing them, and ensuring that the environment is protected. We are engaged in sustainable development at its highest level. CAS is the Caribbean Academy of Sciences, and now we are premier sponsors for this event. And it is a very good partnership because we are in the business of science and technology and information. And this year's theme of using science and technology as a vehicle for development is well within our mantra and our, what we believe should be the guiding vehicle for development: science, technology, and information.
Showcase Jamaica Tours is a premier tour company that offers guided tours all across the island of Jamaica. We pride ourselves in the quality of our tour guides. People spend a lot of money to come to Jamaica, so we want to know they get value for their money. They feel at the end of the tour that they have really got value for the money that they have spent. Our tours tend to be more personalized, so we are less of the big bus operation and smaller personalized tours, so we can coin any tour to suit the needs or the interests of different people. We do night tours. We take them to dinner, we take them dancing, concerts, any kind of concert. I was invited to be the tour operator of choice for the conference delegates, so that they could get a chance to see something of Jamaica, because most times people come and it's an airport, a conference room, hotel room, and then they're back to the airport. So this time they're giving them a chance to have a little local experience and to see a little of what Jamaica has to offer, and we have a lot to offer. I just invite anybody who is a visitor to the island, and even if you're a local and you haven't seen much of the island, to come and join one of our experiences. You can contact us via telephone 876-817-3366, or we can be reached by email at showcasejamaicatours@yahoo.com. And of course, we have a website where you will see a number of tours being offered, and that's www.showcasejamaicatours.com.
That was CASJ's 21st General Meeting and Conference held at the UWI Mona. Thanks for tuning into Business Access TV, serious about business.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
What kind of ESN paper this?
I'm a birth certificate.
You what?
Birth certificate.
Hold on. Let me help you.
Where are you?
Me apply for your birth certificate online on the RGD website. Your lucky things improve and get easy now. This didn't have any security feature. All your granny could have write this.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
The process of embalming has deep historic roots, being practiced since ancient Egypt, if not before. It was a complex 70-day process and was done to prepare loved ones for the afterlife. It wasn't until the American Civil War in the 1860s that a more sophisticated method of embalming was developed to facilitate the transport of dead soldiers by their families. This new method was less complex and time-consuming. In Jamaica today, embalming is a widely accepted method of preserving bodies. But who's willing to deal with the dead? We explore the business of embalming when we visit Lynn's Funeral Home on this episode of Career Moves.
I'm Dane Chuck. I'm the embalmer at Lynn's Funeral Home, also the manager, one of the managers here. We're located in Mandeville, which is 1 Ridgemont Crescent. Embalming is the preserving of human remains for viewing at a later date. It started from the Egyptians and it improved over the years, getting better and better and better and better. But it's the only way of preserving a person for viewing at a later date. If they store them in the fridge or the cooler, they'll start to change and deteriorate also. So embalming prevents the deterioration of the human remains. Embalming is worldwide, but depending on the religion, it's a bit different for some countries. It's a good thing to do. If you don't embalm a body, a lot of things can happen. The person can begin to decompose. That includes like the body starting to strip, the skin strips off, worms, maggots, and just deterioration of the body in general. Features change, smells, stuff like that. Embalming can preserve the body for many years. We have a case here. She's been here about, I think, 20 years. She's been embalmed, and we keep her in storage. It just depends on the humidity and also just how it's done. Because with embalming, you have different chemical strengths. It's rated in indexes, from like 10 index up to 36 index. So depending on the strength you use, shows the result that you can get. Like the stronger the fluid, the more firm the person can be, and the longer the person actually lasts. If you use a fluid that is strong, the person will have more of a lifelike feel, but then they tend to deteriorate faster. In Jamaica, people keep the remains for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. So we use a stronger fluid to get the person more preserved. I use a medium to strong embalming fluid strength. That way it preserves the person, whether they're coming in 2 weeks or 2 months. In the funeral industry, people get cremated, where they don't have to be embalmed first. But there's no really other alternative. People used to keep cases on the fridge, what they call the fridge, for a while, and then they view them in the casket afterwards. But they would tend to defrost in the casket.
You heard about the service, now find out how it's really done.
When the person comes in, we give them a proper bath. We wash them, proper bath, a shave, everything, wash their hair, the whole 9 yards. And a lot of them haven't gotten a proper bath in a long time. After we clean the body, we look at the entire body, evaluate the person, look at the arms, the legs, the torso, check for any abrasions or leakages or stuff like that, right? Then we begin. We begin by looking for the arteries. How embalming works, you locate the main arteries, you embalm through the arteries, and that builds up a pressure in the body, and that pumps the blood out through the vein. So while you're going in with the embalming fluid, you're pushing the blood out at the same time. Your body is like a highway. The arteries and your veins is like a highway in your body. And if there is a blockage or breakage somewhere, that part of the body will not be embalmed. But then we have other ways of embalming that part of the body that didn't get embalmed. In embalming, you can tell where it's embalmed, so you know exactly where to put extra effort to if needs be. 6-point injection, and single point. 6 points when you inject each limb separately. So you lift the femoral and the carotid, brachial artery, and so forth. It does depend on each case. A single point injection is when you lift the carotid artery, or you lift one artery and one vein, and you inject the entire body through that artery and that vein. The 6 point, you ensure it goes everywhere. The single point, it will get everywhere, but depending on the person. There are special equipment which we have to use. Embalm machine, which is like a sink with a pump. Hemostats, forceps, aneurysm hooks. And depending on how complex the case is, there are other tools you have to use. Here are some of the tools we use in embalming. The first one is this device here. It's a mouth former. How this is used, you put this in the deceased person's mouth and it creates the illusion that the mouth is formed properly. This is highly effective on older folks who don't have the teeth or who wear dentures and haven't worn them in a while, so the mouth closure is changed. This allows the mouth to be closed properly and to give that look that it's properly closed. Here's an example of a makeup that we use. It's different from regular cosmetic makeup. It reacts with the dead skin other than living skin. This is what we call a button. We use this to seal up small holes. Basically, we remove excess water from the body. This is a suture needle. We use it to sew up after we finish embalming and to sew up small cuts or bruises. It depends on what we have to do. These two here are aneurysm hooks. How these are used, you use both of them at the same time to tear the skin apart, and then you use these to divide the tissue from the muscles and locate the arteries and the veins. Then you use one to bring the artery up to the surface and you push it under it. Then the artery sits right here on this piece here. Now when the artery sits here, you take a scalpel blade with a handle. The blade is inside this, but I can't take it out. So you take the blade to cut the artery open, and then you insert this tube, this device. This is called an injector or a cannula. This is attached to the machine, the embalm machine, where the fluid runs into the artery via this tube.
Is it something that people are looking and say, hey, let's work with the dead? I don't think it's like a popular career move or option.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
I don't see anything wrong with it, as long as the money is okay and you're comfortable with it.
I actually would, because I find it interesting and it's also a challenging job.
The brave ones can go ahead and do it.
I think it's important because if nobody does it, then how's it going to get done?
It's not really my thing, but if I know say good money in it.
Even if it pays a lot, there are people who have stigmas concerning the dead.
Me for the dead people.
Yeah, they make enough money and them rich.
Me not depend on one.
No.
Of course I would want a career in embalming. Remember, first of all, there's not a lot of people here in Jamaica that supports embalming. Not a lot of people even like the career, actually.
Is it something that people are looking and say, hey, let's work with the dead? I don't think it's like a popular career move or option.
Sure, there's not many persons who is into that field, and it's a money-making business, whereas people dead every day.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
They have to be very strong to do something like that, because not a lot of persons can stand up over a dead body.
The rate of death is very high in Jamaica, and getting an environment like that, it will be actually good. I'll probably make millions every year.
Bam, you're dead good and dress, you're dead good and make up her face. If she even get a bus here, so you see when she come to church, she pretty. Yeah.
My name is Calvin Lynn, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Lynn's Funeral Home Limited. The establishment started operating in March of 1974. My wife and I, principal operators, started there and seeing the need to improve the service. Mrs. Lynn went abroad and did the embalming course. She returned in 1976, and we publicized the importance of having the human remains embalmed. It's a dignified profession. You don't know that, for instance, to apply for a job, whatever area, they're going to ask you what level of certification you have. To know that as the pioneers in this business, Lynn's not really funeral industry, we are satisfied that yes, our daughter has followed in our footsteps. And we did not have to bend our arm. And then no, her son eventually said, all right, to leave for college, he would do mortuary science. I said, mortuary science, how come?
As a kid, I grew up in a funeral home. So I grew up seeing dead people, caskets, urns, hearses. So it was a part of me. I have no fear of it. I mean, I can do it without thinking. So it's like, I just can do it.
There is no school for mortuary science in Jamaica at the moment, but that has never deterred persons who desire to become certified embalmers.
I went to Miami-Dade, which is in Florida. The course took me 3 years, where I did written work and practical experiences and work and so forth. It's a very hard course, it's not very easy, and it can be expensive. I don't know what the rate is now, but it's per credit. I think the course is 72 credits. I normally colleges charge per credit. But it took me 3 years, and at the end of 3 years, I take a final exam, which consists of everything I learned over that 3-year period. In Miami-Dade, you get an associate in science degree. But in some colleges, depending on where you go, they offer it in bachelor's. It's the same degree you get, basically. So when you go to colleges for the US, they start from scratch. They give you an entrance test, and they see what you can do, and they base you off there. Mortuary classes, they're all mortuary courses, so they're all individual courses. So basically, whatever you took before, even if you took all the sciences, it can help, but it can't really help, because all the mortuary courses are different from the regular science courses. I took psychology and thanatology and chemistry and anatomy, and it basically tells you how basic chemistry is, but then from an angle of how it works in the deceased person's case. The psychology class basically taught me how to talk to people who are grieving. Like, you wouldn't say good morning, because obviously it's not a good morning, my mother is dead. So you have to be careful the word you use. There are not many schools that offer this program. So you have 20 schools in Florida, probably one may offer it. It's not a very common degree. And when I was there, all my classes were early in the morning or late at evening. Training was quite easy, since I am 3rd generation in this business, so I had a little bit of a jump start. In college, they taught us the basics and little tricks, but when you get into the field, that's when you really learn.
After 3 years of training, embalmers may recognize that their responsibility in dealing with the dead can often go beyond how much they can earn.
It can pay very well, depending on how you are and how good you are at what you do. Because first of all, to start a funeral home, you have to have a hearse. Hearses are very expensive to purchase. They can range from 40,000 US up to 100,000 of US dollars for a hearse. And then with our Jamaica system, we have to pay duties and taxes to bring it into the country. So say you buy a vehicle for 50,000 US, you have to then pay duty and shipping and taxes, another 50,000 US to bring it in basically. And that's only one hearse. Then your equipment, everything has to be imported. We have to import all our materials. The machines, the chemicals, the tools, everything is imported. It's a very high startup cost. Very, very, very high. Because there's the other aspect of it called restorative art. That is what people in the US will pay a lot for compared to out here. Restorative art is the ability to restore facial features. Like someone's missing an eye, missing a part of their lip, their side of their face is gone, or an ear is gone, even eyelashes, eyebrows. It's a very dangerous and very risky job. Because I'll give you a scenario. So say I'm working on a case that has HIV and I get pricked by that needle. I will probably have HIV also. All of the more dangerous diseases are not really here. They're not really as common. But it's still a high risk because you're working with body fluids. So it's just as dangerous as having like unprotected sex basically with a stranger. We practice universal precautions, so we treat every case like they have some contagious disease. All my staff wear double gloves, aprons, face masks, the whole 9 yards, because you will never know. And the other clients that come in and say that, I want a box. Just give me the cheapest box you have for him.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Embalming might be an unusual career, but because it's necessary, people will accept that someone has to do it.
I believe that there's a high need for embalmers in Jamaica and across the Caribbean. Some Caribbean countries only have one embalmer for the entire island. We also receive cases from different countries like Barbados, Trinidad. I even export cases out to the United States, to Canada, to UK. We sent a case one time to India. People in Jamaica don't really regard the deceased that much, especially in government. It's not a problem. It's not a problem they have to think about. Because Caribbean islands just don't have that view of the deceased in that way. Basically, from one angle, they don't really have a concern about how people are buried in Jamaica. But it's a health risk. So to me, it falls under Ministry of Health. They should really get something involved, something done to regulate it. That way you have things being done properly. I mean, when I was in training, they had a thing called formaldehyde exposure level. Formaldehyde is one of the main ingredients that's used to preserve a body. The health department would come to a funeral home and test the air. If the formaldehyde level is too high in the air, they would close the funeral home down. That does not exist out here.
A career in embalming is not without challenges, but for those who love it, money can't buy the satisfaction they get from a job well done.
The challenges I face are a lot, but I overcome them by just doing the best I can do for each person. That's all I can do. I mean, I will work on a person for hours, and we don't charge any extra for it. I mean, whatever it takes to get the person looking presentable, we will do it. Because in this field, you can only bury somebody once. So if you make a mess of the person's funeral, it's spoiled for life. So you have to plan everything, every last detail down.
1 Richmond Crescent. Right, Mandeville.
Sometimes the families, they can be a bit difficult because they're grieving, so you sort of have to work with them to a point, and also dealing with other funeral homes. Some of them are really nasty, and they try to overcharge people for a service that they know nothing of. Jamaicans tend to be more raw, more aggressive, and more price-driven on what they want. So I've had customers come in and say, okay, I want everything to cost me $200. I will give them whatever it takes, get it under $200, and that is it. And you have the other clients that come in and say that I want a box. Just give me the cheapest box you have for him, and that is it. Then you have other clients that come in and say that I want the best of the best. Everyone's view of the deceased is different. Some people's view is that it's like basically he's already died, so who cares? And some people's view is that he was my father, I have to take care of him well. But from the government angle now, I think that they should probably try to regulate it somehow. Other Caribbean islands have the same issue. Funeral industry is just unregulated. Like how you have a board that governs pharmacists and doctors, there's nothing governing in Bahamas. I've heard stories of funeral homes storing people, storing caskets at their house, storing human remains in a freezer. I've heard of people cutting 2 freezers and joining them together to make a cold storage. And what happened now, the human body is like a piece of meat basically. So it can get freezer burn. So if it's too cold, they burn, just like meat. And if it's not cold enough, they decompose. So the government needs to come in and regulate it in terms of chemicals, hygiene, safety precautions, the whole 9 yards. I like the business, and it's interesting. Sad to say in Jamaica, you hear a lot of drama in funeral homes with hearsay, gossip, this person want this person want that, and it gets very complicated. Okay, I had a case last week where this gentleman said their family has a tradition where they must be buried with a nappy on and an elastic band. I have no idea why. I said, okay, fine, I will do it. I did it. Also, people tend to cut out the pockets of the deceased. Cut out the pockets, put stones in them, or put stones in them clothes or money, I don't know why. And the other weird one I've had, and I did not understand that one, and I tried to tell look, I'm not doing that. They wanted me to push needles up on her heel. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not pushing needles up someone's heel. I don't like that part of it. I like the idea of I can do a service, it makes people happy. It takes somebody from grieving to actually feeling better, but they're still grieving. I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living. The deceased, they don't talk, they do what you're doing, and that is it. With the living now, they'll answer back, can give you problems, so I prefer to stay around there and do my work. When I go out socially and people ask me what I do and I tell them, it's like, they stop for a second, I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. I mean, when I was in school, in college, people were like they asked me a weird question like, what's it like? Like, I had more people more interested than uninterested because of what I do. It's fulfilling, it's hard work. I mean, I work 6 to 7 days a week. I don't get much free time like a standard job. So I'm kind of always here. My advice to people who want to get into this field is to go away, get trained, get qualified, because one day, I mean, right now there's no law for it in Jamaica, there's no training in Jamaica, but one day Jamaica will get there, one day, hopefully. And when it gets there, a lot of funeral homes that are around, they may eventually close down.
Our service has been accepted by the public to know that they will carry on, and they are here with us now. So of course, people have been saying, well, your daughter is so-and-so, your grandson is so-and-so, and they're measuring up. And we're satisfied that what they're doing, is the right thing to keep the client, customer, relatives satisfied.
I like being here. Yeah. No career move. I'm stuck here. The only problem I have, when I die, who's gonna bury me?
The Caribbean is a rich biodiversity hotspot. It has over 11,000 plant species, and about 72 of these are found only in this region. This richness also extends to the Caribbean people. Their traditional knowledge of the region's varied natural resources has integrated nature into the economic and health sectors worldwide. It has also drawn many to research and use the region's biodiversity for medicinal, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical purposes. For example, the glaucoma medication Canasol is made from cannabis. However, Caribbean islands have fallen prey to biopiracy, where a country's resources are accessed and developed commercially, but the country gets little or no benefit from it. As the world benefits from the Caribbean's biodiversity, countries need to be compensated for their commercial use. Lawmakers need to ensure that their countries are legally prepared to give access to and benefits from commercial use of genetic resources. To ensure prior informed consent and mutually agreed terms of access established by the Nagoya Protocol, the Global Environment Facility, GEF, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, are jointly providing support to countries at different levels in order to advance towards functional access and benefit sharing. Under the Nagoya Protocol, countries from which natural resources are obtained for commercial developments are entitled to compensation. It also ensures indigenous knowledge from groups such as the Maroons, Rastafarians, and Amerindians can be credited and compensated if their traditional knowledge has been used for commercial purposes. Caribbean islands are putting the Nagoya Protocol in their legislative framework to safeguard their country's biodiversity and traditional knowledge. Let us all work together to protect our resources, do valuable research, and reap the benefits of sustainable bioprospecting in the region.
Violence against women is a violation of human rights. Its impact ranges from immediate to long-term physical, mental, and sexual consequences, sometimes resulting in death. It negatively impacts women's general well-being and can prevent us from fully participating in society. Be a better human being. No more violence against women. No more.
It goes by many names: marijuana, ganja, cannabis, or kush, just to name a few. But whatever you call it, people will immediately know what plant you speak of.
One step in, I don't.
The Good Life this week takes you to the Stepping High Ganja Festival in Negril.
You know that Jamaica have a very long history of ganja, long before what people actually popularized today. For example, people argue that ganja came across with Indians and came over as indentured laborers, see? So hence the word of indica and ganja from river Ganges. However, ganja has always been here, so you have to use a different kind of lens, meaning now, if you review work by like Van Sertima, they came before Columbus. People always coming to the Caribbean long before Columbus, and Jamaica was always a central space. It is a very important navigational space today. And from pirate times, it was also a very important navigational space. That's why we have the first navigational school in Jamaica by the Caribbean Maritime Institute. Now, what's the point I'm making there? The point I'm making is because ganja was such a traded thing across the world. Across the world. And however, it became more recognizable and popular when people started to come here as enslaved persons and also as indentured laborers, because both of those persons were actually using the plant. So there's always an integration with herb and agriculture. But over time, as they start to make herb become more criminal, which means that the state started to lock up people more than the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, you know, the whole thing, it kind of shifts. You know, so you find out that while we were still planting herb, we know if we have practiced some integrated farming, not because we just know that integrated farming is what you should do. We have the integrated farming for hide the herb. So I would have plant herb and I plant gungo peas or I plant okra around it, because if you look from overhead and the herb, that the gungo peas and the okra, it don't look so obvious. Now the ganja farmer is the only man in Jamaica who was practicing those things, you know. By what? Out of necessity. So as Rastafari start to use more herb, you have more fight taking place against the herb. So it is a thing where the history has been whereby the farmer structure is anti-herb, not because they're anti-plant, but because they're anti-mindset. But because Rastafari use a lot of herb now, and herb stimulate certain parts of your brain, and people know that your body is designed with what we call an endocannabinoid system, you know, from your head to your toe. And the parts of your body that have the most of those receptors is what your liver and your brain, especially when part of the rhinoceros and the ancient part of your brain and the central part of your brain as well, the part that deal with this feel-good, esoteric kind of vibes and things, you know what I mean? And that is what drives and supports a lot of the way Rastafari people think. Hence the concept of being airy and the concept of being of one love and being with nature and all those things. It's not the Rasta people alone. The same ancient Indian people who use herb, they don't do the same thing. The people who are Essenes, from which them say Yahusha come from, is the Jesus story. They are herb people. So them say them anoint him head with oil. Him 7th chakra, him crown chakra, is herb them use, in that olive oil them use, is ganja oil them use. See? All these stories that people hear, ganja oil is a very important part of those processes for health and wellness and healing. So it's like it's just something where Rasta people come up with, like you have what you call a Columbus syndrome, you discover things that already exist. No. The thing is that Rastafari, we are way into this consciousness of this plant and uses it. And then using it also away other people. It's like you unlock your chakras or your DNA, so people start to remember these things and start to use the plant and actually feel a particular way about it. One of the first functions of ganja is to build your immune system against ultraviolet rays. So it means then that ganja is one of the plants that you use to do what? Prevent most of the cancers, if not all of the cancers. So all research has shown that ganja is good for cancer fighting its functions, such as THC. And they ask yourself, what is the leading killer of people in the world today? It's stress. Herb is a plant, THC in particular, it removes stress. It transforms energy from one negative way into a next positive. That's what it's about. It's not no new energy. You shift, you focus, and start to see things in a very different kind of way. So you don't see no problem, you know. You see, needs that are unsolved, which means that there are opportunities to solve those needs by doing what? Providing a good service. So the lens through which you see things becomes different. And unfortunately, within our own system, we have this big opportunity. But the lens through which we see it is the same old colonial lens. CDB is used to treat things that do with psychosis. That research came out of England. Yes? That's why there's a great demand for CDB herb in Europe, because the leading killer of people in Europe and America is now what? Dementia-related illnesses. Parkinson, Alzheimer's. That's why I want CDB and not THC. You have CBN, which is to stimulate appetite. So people who have cancers and all of these other issues and eating disorders will want the CBN. But it's also good for all the olfactory senses, you know. Ears, nose, and throat. So everything you do with your lung, everything you do with your ears, everything in the nose and your throat, because it what? It opens up a thing. The plant itself, in terms of the seed, have two of the most important fatty acids for your brain, which is called linoleic and linoleic, in the 1-to-3 ratio, the exact ratio in your brain. The only other plant that comes close to that is linseed, which has now 1-to-4 ratio. Most of these problems that people have, the plant is good for it. Ask them which other plant your body is designed to use. Just ask them, which other plant your body developed themselves 50 million years ago. All beings on the earth develop an endocannabinoid system. Not man alone. Dog, puss, rat, bird, everything. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to really see what the research is saying. What the research is saying. It's good for everything. But you know, we don't ready to own people's brain now. Especially people who are going to say are mad people like Rasta. Or the Rasta by say, okay, herb is the healing of the nation, and herb is this. Or Tosh sing about it as a bush doctor and say, boy, it's good for this, and lawyers smoke it. Remember too, you know? Many places people use herb, and we don't just use ganja. We use different kind of herb. And this is part of the problem, because when them started to fight ganja, technically them started to fight every kind of natural consumption of other herbs as well. So man, have a headache, I don't want no rosemary, I don't want no almond leaf, because it's herbs. I have to know how much you have to take and suppose it poison you. And I take a Fenzik, you know. And then give everybody the same prescription, 2 Fenzik, but yes, all the structure different. So the same 2 Fenzik for solve every problem for everybody. You have something in your stomach you want to clear out, you don't take no verba, no dog blood. You can take a leave. And then them announce by the TV, some have a call him back a leave, because kill off beer people are foreign. Foolishness.
Don't go anywhere. The Good Life will be right back.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply. Welcome back to The Good Life, where we are exploring the benefits of ganja with Dr. Kadamawe Knife. He shares his knowledge based on extensive research on the plant and some of his opinions on Jamaica's response to the growing worldwide use of ganja.
We now learn that there's a high demand for CBD plants in the world, which is in the Euro-American world. And what we know is that we're focusing so much on that technically we start to make the part that we have the advantage in almost criminal. If you have a lot of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's in Europe, they want CDB in the herb. Now, if you understand the ganja plant, CDB is naturally, it don't occur in plants in a naturally high amount, you know. But it's still an amount that can treat some of those things. what they're doing now is to take the plant into the lab to create a plant that has high levels of CDB and low levels of THC. It is the first concern that we have with those kind of herbs and things. Nonetheless, I am saying if the plant itself can produce pharmaceutical products that can treat those things, well, they can do it. However, know that they must make concurrently. But the thing that I'm not naturally having in the country, but the thing that you try to promote. Jamaica is known internationally for what? Pharmaceuticals? No. We're known internationally for being a wellness space. So, if you ask a man, tell me some Jamaican words. All of the words relate to feeling good about yourself. Someone are going to say irie, he might say love. He might say all of these things. Because the country is known for wellness. And we'll see where it comes from. See, now if you listen to Ed Bartlett test, when them do the assessment of what words trigger people to come to Jamaica. Love, food, and music. And cancer ganja tree, my minister. So we're not using that opportunity and so we have a win-win scenario where everybody can benefit, whether you are a foreign direct investor or a local person. See, at a macro or a micro level. We turn it to what we call a zero-sum game, which means that if some people are going to win, like the pharmaceutical people, it means that the people who do the things organically are going to lose. And that don't make no sense.
When it's green, you squeeze the juice from it, it's the best for eye. It's kill all cataract and everything.
Now, I argue that we need to standardize and regularize. It is much more difficult to standardize and regularize things for the pharmaceutical industry than it is for the food industry. And SRC and the Bureau of Standards are some master industries, some master institutions that can help us to standardize these things. See? So when we hear them argue about edibles, I know edibles is this and edibles is that. It shows you how almost backward the people can be. THC is amplified by heat. So therefore, if you cook herb, it magnifies the amount of THC that's within that thing that you eat. So what does that mean? Does that mean that there's a problem in using herb in the food? No. It means then we can get a lot more from the same herb than we actually do now. When I say shift focus, when I say broaden your focus and don't be myopic in what you're doing. Don't be a copybugger. And the bigger part of the industry is the wellness part, it's not the pharmaceutical part. That is how we talk about functional food. We're not talking about nutraceuticals alone. Because they still want to make nutraceuticals sound like it's pharmaceuticals. It's like nutraceuticals is taking the active out of a plant, whether it be ganja, ginger, whatever. Functional food is using the actives in things for consumption. Which means then, I can make, and I like to use this example, I can make a chocolate from Highgate, which is a nice brand chocolate, and infuse it with something like a CBN, which is an active in ganja plant. See? Or THC. CBN because it stimulates appetite. So I target people who knows they need to eat food but want something nice to take to eat food. People who have AIDS and cancer and anorexia. So you want to eat that chocolate kind, it really tastes good, but when you eat it now, that makes you want to eat other food as well. So again, you have to take a regular tablet. Or use THC with things like rosemary and almond leaf as what? Just as what people buy St. John's wort to reduce stress. We use it that way there. Remove all of your stress. You can put it in anything. I can use the same starting from the ganja plant and make incense and create incense. And what is the beauty about this? You can do this at all 3 levels. It's the only plant you can do it at 3 levels now. And Jamaica, you can do it at the community level in terms of branding, the parish level, as well as the national level. Because if you understand ganja in Jamaica, people will argue that Sunny Hill in St. Thomas is a place that plant good herb. But a man takes a Green Hill and Orange Hill plant good herb. A man takes a Bull Savannah plant good herb. Or Lucky Valley in St. Andrew plant good herb. Or the best herb usually planted in St. Andrew in the 1980s. So wait I tell you. At different points in time, people say the best herb plant in different places in Jamaica, which means that the best herb plant in Jamaica, there's a people that think we can plant the best herb anywhere in Jamaica. Now, can you imagine the amount of branding that you can take away, that you can use across the island? You have to realize what opportunities are. I'm not fighting a pharmaceutical now, but I tell you, look at what we can do with branding. Man is the only animal that cook food and eat. Rastafari is free meditation. Every man have a right to decide their own destiny, man. The person who can tell how to live is yourself. See? So I say, I don't want no food by the fire. Some don't do it. Rastafari says life. And so we find out when you put fire upon the food, you take out some of the life out of it. So you want to get the full life of the food, eat it without putting fire upon it. But you still can't tell a man how to live, you know. So I'm going to tell you, watch you know, you stop eating cooked food. You still have to work, and the ganja is one of the best things to eat. So with I know, it's sativa herb I promote. 6 to 9 months, ital herb. See, I'm going to take it serious because remember, the whole of my ample design for use herb, you know. So it means that you must put the best thing inside your system. So a long time herb, the rest of the plant is the best herb to use. All these things that them come up with, no, it's just like some of the food now. See, so a long time people usually eat free-range chicken, but take long and you put a nail there for themselves to cook him. You don't want that now, you want a chicken, which is a baby chicken. But take 6 weeks, I end up with arsenic and all kinds of things, give people fibroids. The same with the herb. Them don't want a 6 to 9 month herb, so them start grow some short day herb, some short breed herb. 8 weeks. Where the man have to alter the seed to increase the amount of THC. Why? Because THC is stimulated by sunlight. So the longer the exposure of the plant in the sunlight is the more THC. So if you want to get the same amount of THC in a shorter period of time, what you have to do? Change the structure of the plant. So indica is not the area plant to use, as far as I'm concerned. If you understand plant science, plants work in a holistic way. When you start to take and separate plants, it becomes less effective. When you steam the herb now, it goes into your lung directly, which means then, when your blood is passing through that vein, that is passes through your lung and it's being oxygenated, it takes up the herb immediately. So it's the fastest way of getting the herb inside your system, you know. It's not an injection, because when you get an injection, it don't go in your vein directly, you know. It goes on your skin and tries to find its way into your vein. So the most effective way of getting herb into your system quickly, and another way that is at the least amount of carbon, as far as I'm concerned, is through steaming. But the argument about smoking herb can kill a problem. No man, that's just something which is just false information. THC actually builds back the wall of your lung, repair the wall of your lung. So the concern about smoking can't that you're going to get sick from smoking herb. Just that the concern you say, okay, you don't want to put no more carbon inside of your system, which you don't need to. And so I ask people if you smoke a spliff every day, see? And how much spliff a day you smoke? I'm going to say 2 spliff or 3 spliff a day. But that's 365 times 2. That's almost 700 piece of paper you smoke for the year. So you really don't need to be smoking no paper. But you know some people make hemp, Rizla. So all those things are there. Now, some say the carbon might be the concern. My other concern about smoking is that it is not economical. Because when you go and light a spliff or light a chalice, most of the herb gone in the ear and less gone inside of you. So we don't smoke no herb, we just steam the herb. See, and it's not no magic we are doing, you know. A long time people do that, man. It's like when you bake pudding and put the fire up on top of it. See? So you have something that separates the fire from the herb. And when you pull it, the heat from it passes through the herb. It cools under the water and condenses. It's aromatherapy. You can use it with any plant you want. Now, that is more efficient. There's almost 0 carbon because anything that comes through is captured in the water. This is what a long time bingy man them usually do, you know. Now, when you eat herb, it goes on your digestive system and takes a longer time to start to break down, but it stays longer in your system now. Because it starts to release more slowly. That's why when people cook herb and it's in your gut for a long while and it release slowly, so you feel that kind of feeling for a much longer period of time. You know, say a man who smoke herb don't like smoke herb in a public space. Him like going down space, him have him create him own space. And naturally we know that. We don't want no cigarette smoking, we don't want no jerk pan smoking, we don't want no car smoking, and we don't want no herb smoking in no public space. Because people respond different to those things and things still, see? So, we don't want no designated smoking area either. Yeah, we don't want that. I mean, because the attempt says that, say, if you think that smoking is bad, why you designate place for them to smoke? You've been a hypocrite. Go find somewhere by yourself. Go smoke if you want. Don't create a nuisance for people. And things to this, see? In a private space, you do what you want to do.
Don't go anywhere. The Good Life will be right back. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
We are back with another exciting, innovative, and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We wrap things up with Dr. Kadamawe Knife as he shares his concerns with the current state of the industry and gives his final thoughts on what he believes could promote and grow the industry in Jamaica and, by extension, the Caribbean.
And I will argue that imported bad food and lifestyle practices kill more people in Jamaica than gunshot. Less than 3,000 people dead last year from gunshot. And in 2016, more than 15,000 people dead from diabetes alone. 15,000 people, I mean, not talk high blood pressure and heart disease yet. I mean, there's no big strategy as to how we are going to halt that. But do appreciate some years, some of the things I say, boy, drink more water and less sugar, because So I see them talk some things. But I say, you saw there was a big strategy to fight crime and lack of people. But there's no big strategy now to fight down the crime and now we are killing people, which is through food. Now the point we're making though is that if we start to do ganja as agriculture and use it now as a catalyst, we start getting people starting with ganja with health and wellness and agriculture that kind of way, you start to address not only economic issues but health issues as well. Because if you are plant food and not plant clean food, the people must get less sick. Must. We should say, okay, our focus on building out what we have, which is and them disrespectful, I call it recreational. We have the wellness part of the industry, in the ganja industry. And we're going to expand it to facilitate the pharmaceutical component. So those who want to do the pharmaceuticals can deal with it, but we are going to focus our money and energy on the wellness component. So you're trying to take a lead in an area that you can't lead in, while neglecting the area that you already lead in. I'm telling you, any guy who come to this space will have a strong right as a bonus spliff. Right, that's how the same cool breeze we are distributing interview with. It's a one of the best experience. So burn a spliff and then go buy food from the people might eat. I tell you, I'm going to tell him grandpa about that story, you know. Say about telling grandpa to take a ganja tablet. So that's a story. There's medication they're taking, man. Enough name out there here. Them like to categorize them as skunk and kush. We have all 20 different skunk names or 20 different kush names. What we want to grow is a particular strain of herb, which is a sativa. So you have the broad categories of sativa and indica. We are promoting sativa herb, the 6 to 9 months herb. Ital, that means you don't put anything that come from animal, it's plant alone grow it. That's how to promote it. See? Now, Jamaica should have things like them called goat shit and lamb's bread and all different kind of herbs that are sativa herb as well, thyme herb. But those were destroyed in the 70s. Some seeds still exist, so we focus on getting those seeds. Now, nowadays, you have all kind of skunk herb because the license itself is prohibitive and shows that they don't really understand what they want to move. Because the licensing process is required because they're doing pharmaceutical ganja. I've been doing pharmaceutical ganja because of the regulations for production. You have to get all of these things in place. So that is for one section of the economy. Now the part that we're speaking about the wellness doesn't require those things. So we'll argue. That's how we have a man with a bar who says that he might get the license at whatever. The same thing I do with the herb people who are involved in these kind of things at the community level. But I think it's important to regularize it. Someone, the man within the community knows him have the best herbs that sell. I'm putting them jar and him, you know, make it iron and official. But a while like it's a hide thing you depend and then it's a hustling. No. Make people know say it's free for do it so you can do it properly, man. Because, you know, Jamaican people like to present them thing properly too, you know. So don't make it look like it's a Jim Screechy thing. Give them the same kind of freedom. But say what you know, you have to have them standard there, you know. You can't sell the herb in a plastic bag because the herb eat up in the plastic bag, put in a glass jars. And put in a dark glass jar because it make the herb stay long and, you know, show them how to do it properly and thing. Now when you check it now, $10,000 for your distribution of what? 10,000 US, you know, not 10,000 Jamaican. The prices are not even quoted in Jamaica, they're quoted in US, so it's can't be your target. So it's a different kind of thinking surrounding that component. And that's what I'm talking about the dual space. You have to have your pharmaceutical space, you put those restrictions here. But the wellness part that relates to Jamaica, you don't put those restrictions, but you put standards and quality control. So who knows if you have an edible, we know say the Bureau of Standard passes and SRC help you the formulation and you know say alright, you have the right amount of things inside there. Get rather the strength now for coming through the marketing and them home economics thing, for come show them how to do the thing using the standards. You know? Make it happen properly. Herb, like we call high altitude and long exposure to sunlight. Jamaica have over 10 hours of sunlight, we have high altitude with a volcanic space. Remember, say we call it volcanic because it means they have a lot more minerals in our earth than places that are not volcanic. Because when they have volcano, we do carry precious minerals from the core come up to the surface. So it's just good earth we have now. We have enough gold and diamond in Jamaica, enough crystals because we're volcanic. It means then that because we have the high altitude and long exposure, our ganja, once it is exposed to the sun, it's going to be much, much better. But across the Caribbean, while they might not be like Jamaica, but you have places that can do similar things. St. Lucia, which is mountainous, Dominica, which is mountainous, Haiti, which was mountainous, would have been good places to plant. Forget highs of THC. Montserrat might be good to plant. Definitely good to plant herb with high THC because it's also mountainous and also have good exposure to sunlight. Barbados, Cayman, Antigua, which are flat places, might be better to actually plant herb to get seed as food or forget fiber. Now they could have plant hemp though, you know. That's what I mean because them flats of them THC level not gonna be too high. A place like Guyana, Belize, Suriname can look at planting the industrial plant which is hemp. So the mountainous places plant the female and the flat places plant the semi-male female and the mainland places plant the male which is the hemp. So the region itself can control the entire value chain of the industry from both male and female. The Caribbean. Well, remember that Jamaica is in the Caribbean, because Jamaica is the only real Caribbean country. You know? We're at the center of the Caribbean, there's a certain level of magnetism in the earth, and the earth is electrical and magnetic, it's bioelectrical and magnetic. So you can't underplay the importance of those magnetic currents that surround the earth with all those things happening and things still. So you see, I'm not on ganja alone, I mean all our food. The food levels, the taste, it's like it accentuates. And you know, the research that actually showed that Jamaica have higher levels of heavy metal in them earth though, which was a concern. But we realized that when we put in the water, the heavy metal dissipates. This is not a problem anymore. So remember, this is a good life now. It's important for people know that you only have one life to live. See? So you have to live healthy. Do the thing that you know is right. Be serious about it, man. Live well and live the good life, you know?
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.